Thank you, Harrison. That was great. Is this on? Okay. I can't hear anymore. I've had that much whiskey. Just kidding. I'm kidding, you guys. Okay, so here we go. So Tinderoni, or how you never really know someone until you've met them face to face. Okay, so I spent about 6 months last year on Tinder. All right. Now, if you don't know, Tinder is an app that you can get on your phone. And it's sort of a app that you can meet people like those. I didn't meet them on the internet, and they also didn't meet each other on the internet. Just a little FYI. You can meet people on the internet for, friendship, or to hook up, or to date, or maybe just to bone. I personally was using it sort of as like a dating thing because I kind of felt like, I didn't really need to do that to get laid. Like, I didn't really need an app for that. I felt fairly confident in my skills. But why not, right? Everybody else was doing it. And so the thing about Tinder is, like, I sort of had multiple relationships on there that ranged anywhere from somewhere around 2 hours to about 5 weeks. Most of them just text messages. And if I'd been really smart, I would have treated all of them like that first 2 hour one, We sort of messaged back and forth, kind of realized it was pretty hot for each other, and got a little bothered. And then he got my phone number and called me. And he had a really sexy Eastern European accent. And before you know it, we had phone sex and we hung up. And I never spoke to him again. It was amazing. It was great. It was like, there were no feelings, there were no bodily fluids exchanged, there was no pain, there was nothing really except just like, this like quick little interlude, and it was over. Like, hey, this is great. And didn't really learn much from it, obviously, because that was probably the only time that I was that quick and painless in this whole situation. So the first one I'm going to tell you about is this gentleman named Matt, okay? And Matt's from Idaho, all right? And his pictures were like, mid-40s, silver fox, square jaw, square-toed boot, total, like, hardcore equipment, like he was like working out there in Idaho, it was open range and lots of sky and shit, And I'm like, oh my God, Daddy, what's up? So we start messaging and everything, and real quick, like, he friends me on Facebook, which I'm gonna go ahead and advise you, single people out there, if you come across someone to potentially date, do not become their friend on Facebook. It's just a thing. It's just, if you're going to take anything from this experience that I'm talking to you about, don't do it, okay? So we become friends on Facebook. I said yes for some reason, and, most of his stuff was more of the same, like, pictures is like a dude, he's a real man, and he followed his family. He's followed his ex-wife and his 3 children down to Oklahoma, because he's a good man. And that's how he got into my Tinder range, you know what I mean? So we spent quite a bit of time messaging back and forth. A little of it got a little dirty, and I kept being like, don't be dirty, let's meet each other, this is good. Okay. So we decide to meet, and he's going to come and visit me in Fayetteville. And I've gotten myself real worked up, right? Okay, like, this is an adult, and I'm kind of an adult, and I'm gonna, like, meet him. And of course, also, I've been warned by many people, you don't meet people from the internet in strange places. So I'm like, well, just come to my salon, okay? Because, it's next to a pizza place, there's lots of people, I'm safe, right? And so that's what's gonna happen. Well, this day starts, and, like, it begins to storm, like, really, really, really storm. And I think we were supposed to meet at like 5 or something. A little before that, he calls me. And now keep in mind, you guys, I had never spoken to this person who was about to meet me. I had messaged with him, and we spent 2 weeks or so messaging each other, never spoken to each other on the phone, and he calls, and I'm like, oh my God. And I'm about to meet this person in like an hour, right? But I'm like freaked out. He's like calling me on the phone. I'm like, okay, it's cool. I answer the phone. His voice is really small and kind of quiet, and he's like, hey, I'm over on the side of the road here in Oklahoma because there's a real bad storm going on, but I'm hoping I'm still going to make it on time. How are you doing? I'm like, I'm fine, thanks, Matt. Gosh, that sounds terrible. I sure hope you're safe. Please, don't hurry. Just let me know what's going on. Don't worry, I think I'll still be there on time. Okay, sunshine? Okay, great, Matt. I can't wait for you to get here. So, I'm notoriously late, and I pull up to my salon, and I see the shadow of him, like the outline of him at my door, and I, get out of my car, take a deep breath, and just run like crazy through this fucking storm that's happening, right? And just about 10 paces from him, I realize this big, huge, beautiful, square-jawed, outdoor man is somewhere around 160 pounds soaking wet. He's maybe 6 feet tall, but just, not short. I'm just saying, he just appeared really big on the internet, like a big dude, right? And so he's just like a little bit of a thing, and he's wearing clogs. And I'm going to tell you a little side note here about me is that, I'm really not, people oh, you're into fashion, oh, you do hair, oh, no. I really don't care. I'm all about form and function. Does it work? Is it you? Whatever, that's great, okay? But the first thing I look at on a man is his hands, and I look at his shoes. And this man had on clogs. Those exact clogs, as a matter of fact. This is a photograph I took of his foot. But, we'd spent quite a bit of time getting to know each other via text message, and he'd driven all this way in a storm to meet me, and so we chatted for a while, and I realized he was really sweet, and he did have a good heart, so we went next door, and we had some pizza, talked some more, and I was like, well, you did drive all this way, would you like to come to my house? Sure thing, it's less than a mile from here, okay, and he gets in his tiny little car, and we drive to my house. He takes a shower, and one thing leads to another, and we have a lovely evening. We get up the next morning, and, he'd never been to Arkansas before. Keep in mind, he's from Idaho. And so he wanted to go on a tour of the university, and I drove him around. He wanted to take a picture next to the Razorback for his kids. Don't worry, his children thought he was on business. Okay. So we did all of that. It was really great. And he took me to lunch, and I was like, bye, have fun. Thank God it's unstorming. Be safe. And I was like, great. I'm never going to see him again. It was fun. God, we make mistakes, and it wasn't terrible, he was clean. I only know he's clean because he was a former Mormon, ladies and gentlemen. That's something I learned about 5 minutes before he came to Arkansas to meet me, because I found that out that he'd never drank before. That's why I wasn't drunk when I met him, or the shoes probably wouldn't have even occurred to me. I'm lying. The shoes still would have occurred to me. Anyway, I still hear from Matt on occasion. We got in a lot of fights over the, text messaging. He's like, you're an alcoholic. That's why you diss my shoes. And I'm like, oh, your shoes are shit. And if only you, weren't so sensitive, then maybe we could have carried on. But, just enjoy your kids and life in Oklahoma. So that leads me to Brian. Brian, we connected, and he was really cute, and really tall, and he was a really big guy, and we started talking, and one thing leads to another, and I find out that he's a trucker, which normally I would have just ditched immediately. I'm not exactly sure why, but just there's something about over-the-road trucker that just seems like red flag, right? But, he had recently gotten into trucking because he is formerly an oil man, and, the oil industry had gone downhill, and he really wanted to, have a stable job that he was in control of so he could take care of his kids, and he lived in Fort Smith, and it's a little conservative for my taste, but he was really like, whatever you are into is okay. I'm really open-minded, and I'm not going to judge you, and da-da-da-da, and I guess maybe people have ghosts. Okay. So, and it just was, really weird, because, as much as I'm, very liberal and think that everything is okay, I'm also, really judgmental if you're not. And so I was like, oh, my God, this guy's breath of fresh air, and I was kind of getting into it, and he was on a run for about 2.5 weeks. That was the deal. And so I was like, I can have a relationship for 2.5 weeks and then meet him. And we actually talked on the phone. Another key thing you all should know, if you're going to have any sort of relationship with someone that you haven't met yet, don't just text message. Remember the voice issue. You should speak to them on the phone, okay? It's a bonus. He sounded okay, all right, you know. So we had talked on the phone a whole lot, and then what was 2.5 weeks ended up being 5 weeks of him being on the road, ladies and gentlemen, 5 weeks. Somewhere around 4 weeks, I realized this is not going to go anywhere. But it was too late, you know. We were friends. I knew all about his family and his mom and his kids and his dog, and he knew the same things about me. And I'd been like, we don't talk dirty on the phone. We're going to wait until, you know, we meet each other, because then that way it's not uncomfortable. And we decided that our first time we were going to meet, he was going to come to my salon. Strange, because, you know, it was safe. And I was going to cut his hair, because, you know, that's kind of cute, right? And everything. And he has like this big beard and stuff, and I cleaned it up. Okay, so the day he's coming to my salon, it's storming. It's storming really, really bad, and he's running a little late, you know, and it was okay that he called, because I knew what his voice sounded like. So I'm at the salon, and I'm waiting for him to show up and everything, and he shows up, and the door opens, and I turn around, and this big man takes his hood off, and I'm like, oh, it's a 6'2" marshmallow. And I don't know if I can explain this to you guys really, really well. Now, first of all, he was diabetic, which, I mean, I'm bordering on diabetic, so, like, whatever, it's a thing. But, like, there's something about someone who's diabetic, and they smell a little, like, sweet sulfur, okay? And also, at the same exact time, I'm talking marshmallow, like, you could look at this man, and you're like, if I touch him, it's going to make a sound like a pillow. You could tell that there was nothing underneath his flesh but bone, right? And I did, and as I'm like going, I was like, oh my God, we're in the house, shit. And it literally is that soft. It was that soft, you guys. Like maybe he hadn't moved once. Ever. I mean, this is a veteran, okay? This is somebody who fought for our country. This was someone who's like, you know, he's got all this even thing and this stuff, and there's nothing there but his skin and his bones and some And so now I'm going to cut his hair and his beard. So I put him in the chair, you know, and I'm being really nice, and I'm like, oh, this is so sad, right? And you can tell he kind of thinks I'm cute, and so I'm being really nice, and I cut his hair and made him look a lot better, and cleaned up the, you know, the neck and the stuff on his beard. So then I'm like, oh my God, are you hungry? Let's go next door to a pizza. So we go next door, we have some pizza, and I mean, I know everybody at the pizza place, and they're all like, damn, what's Sunshine doing with that marshmallow? But it's cool, you know, I played off, I'm like, it's a cousin, you know, I gave him that look. I mean, I didn't say that out loud, but that was the vibe I was giving him in school. We're related. By marriage. So, now keep in mind, this is a man I've had a relationship with for 5 weeks. I know everything about him, okay? We've talked on the phone every day for 5 weeks, all right? It's not like I can be like, go to the fucking truck stop. So I'm like, okay, well, do you want to go to my house? He's like, sure, why don't you ride with me in the truck? Ladies and gentlemen, this is my first time in the front of a tractor trailer situation. And this view is from the front porch of my house. Like, we pull up to my house, and I'm like, this thing's as big as my house. And it kind of was, like, seriously, as big as my house, at least. It was taller, actually, than my house. Oh, God, I can't believe that picture's happening. Okay, so, anyway, so he comes inside, we come inside, and I'm like, give him the remote. You know, dudes love remotes, right? Oh, here's the remote. We're, like, laying on my bed. He pulls up something that's, like, kin to Family Guy, which is, like, funny, but not my bag. You know, it's not gonna, like, get me hot or anything. And so, but I, like, lay down next to him, like, okay, so we're watching the show and stuff. We're watching it for a while, and I'm like, there is zero chemistry. There is zero pull here, people. There is zero attraction. But I'm like, maybe if he kissed me, everything would change, right? Maybe I'll just. And so I kind of like lean over and like pull him down, like kiss him a little bit, and I'm like, wow, this was wrong. I wasn't wrong, I was right, but I was like wrong to even try. Oh God, I'm tired. Roll over, go to sleep. Wake up the next morning, make him some breakfast. God, I'm so sorry, you gotta go, right? I got an appointment. Okay, it's really great to meet you, but you've got to drive me back to the salon where my car is. In the big rig. So we get back to the shop, and I kind of give him a hug and everything. And he's got this awkward look on his face. And I'm as awkward as anyone has ever been in their whole entire life. And I hope that nobody's at work yet. And I get on, it's like, it's really great, it's so fun. And then, probably somewhere around an hour later, he messages, God, it was really great to meet you. I can't wait to see you again. It was so great. Da, 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 da. Yeah. And I wait somewhere around 24 hours before I'm like, sunshine, be authentic. Okay? Don't bullshit this kid, like he's out on the open road, all right? He doesn't have his feelings hurt any more than you're already going to hurt his feelings. And I'm like, hey, Brian, really seems like there wasn't any chemistry. I'm pretty sure you picked up on that. And I'm real sorry about that guy because, man, you're a real nice guy and this is really great, but gee whiz, I hope you have happy trails. And he messages back and he's like, yeah, I just kind of thought maybe we were nervous, but boy, I sure got a great haircut out of it, thanks. And I'm going to tell you something, ladies and gentlemen, I have never heard from him again. And I will tell you that I might date him just because of that. I'm like, I said goodbye, he said goodbye, and he never contacted me. It was a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. When someone says goodbye to you, leave them alone. Maybe they'll run back, okay? But just leave them alone. God, Brian's a good man. Which leads me to Jamel. Okay, so, don't worry, you guys, it's the last one. So Jamel, all right, Jamel lives over near Tulsa too. I don't know if you guys realize this, but so Tinder, I had a radius, okay? And I had a 100-mile radius, all right? I am a total snore in NWA, okay? But I am a fucking star in the ends of my radius, all right? Tulsa, Springfield, Missouri, I'm blowing that shit. They're like, hey girl, what's up? I'm like, gosh, maybe I should move, I don't even know. But like I was saying, there's another Tulsa guy, some little tiny place right outside of Tulsa. Just steps on down here. So Jamel seems like right up my alley. He's real liberal, he's funny, now he's got a baby mama, he's got a 5-year-old, but he's living the dream. He actually drinks on occasion, he has a steady job. He can talk on the phone and make jokes and, stuff. We talked on the phone, actual speaking, it was great. So I'm like, you know what, we should meet, because this kind of seems like might be going somewhere. And he's like, sweet. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm totally don't have anything going on this weekend. I'm going to come over, okay? I'm going to drive to Tulsa to see you. And he's like, sweet, oh my God, that's great. And I'm like, okay, I'll come on a Sunday. I know you got to work on Monday, but I don't, so whatever, doesn't matter. So I hop in my car, and it's storming. When I say you guys that it's storming, I just want you guys to be super clear on the fact that it's not just there's some rain. It is storming. It's 1 o'clock in the afternoon and it's dark, all right? But I'm like, what the hell? I stop in Springdale, it's a Sunday, get some liquor, get on the road. I'm halfway there and I start realizing people die in Oklahoma in storms all the time, right? Are these funnel clouds? Oh shit, don't tell your mother where you are. Oh, it's gonna be okay, you're in a Subaru, And I just I pedal on and I get about 3/4 of the way there and I'm like, what are you doing? You're driving to go get laid. You're driving 2 hours in what could possibly be the last drive of your life, mostly for sex. Is that really happening? And I'm he lives there. He has a child. He has a job. He has a baby mama. I have a business and a life and shit. It's not like I'm moving there. He's not moving here. What are you doing, sunshine? What are you doing? Get really clear. And it was so clear that I realized that it didn't really matter at this point. I was almost there. Fuck it. So I called him. I'm like, hey, I'm getting off the interstate. Gonna be here in about 10 minutes. He's like, oh, sweet, right? So pull off, and I'm in this little area where there's little roads and little houses, and I get to his little house. It's just all the little houses, and I pull in, and I get to the door, and knock on the door, and he opens the door, and there he is, Jamel, and he's maybe 5'10". And he might weigh 150 pounds. Damn, I can pick him. Damn. But he's real cute, okay? You know, it's kind of my spice. I kind of like him, you know, and I'm like, so, hey, what's going on? I come inside, we start chatting, and I'm looking around, and this guy's house is sort of like one of those really well-curated bars that you go to where there's not 1 square inch of wall that's free of debris, basically. Especially things like maybe a buffalo head with a Cubs hat on it. That's from his house, folks. You're welcome. Everything else is things like paintings of naked women. Like maybe they're a mermaid, maybe they have wings, you know, maybe they're submerged in the bath, but there's just like fucking chicks and titties everywhere. And I'm like, you bring your kid here? I'm like, okay, well, I mean, it's clean. It's cluttery, but it's clean. So I'm like, okay, you know. We sit down, we start talking, there's like a game on TV, you know, and we like relating to each other. It's pretty fun, you know. We'll have a good time, all right, so I'm kind of hungry. What do you think? Yeah, sweet. Oh, you want to go have pizza? Okay, well, sweet. God, I love pizza. So we end up at this place that's sort of like Mellow Mushroom, like there's like tie-dyes on the wall and you're like exceptionally friendly service, you know. So we go, we chat it up, we have a good time, pizza's good, you know, but then I'm like, God, I got heartburn because now I'm going to be 40 and it's terrible. So we get back to his house and I'm like thinking about heartburn. He's like, you know what I like to do? I really like to shoot fireball. I'm like, oh, great. If I'm going to have to stay here, I've already had some cocktails, I probably should. I should have some of that fireball too. So I drink a bunch of Fireball and heartburn starts to get really intense, but you know, that's fine. I'm sort of drunk enough that I can't even remember the fact that I have heartburn at this point. We start making out in the kitchen, one thing leads to another. He takes me to his bedroom where there's 1 bed and 1 television that's the size of the wall. And I think something like X-Files or something is on. I'm like, hey, we're gonna have to turn that off, okay? I'm gonna get real distracted by Mulder, okay? Turn it off. So he turns it off, and you know, we have a like somewhat semi-successful sexual experience, and he wraps his arms around me and whispers in my ear, "Don't worry, I'm gonna let you fall asleep first." Okay, that's not creepy. So I'm like, okay, so I get to fall asleep first, and before I can even finish the thought about how creepy he is, he begins to make sounds that you can't possibly imagine that a man that is only 150 pounds can make, okay? And I can't even try to emulate it, all right? It's not like snoring, it's more like something's being murdered, and it's being murdered right here, okay? And like, I'm in a foreign place, I'm in a foreign bed with a foreign dude, in a foreign state, and I'm supposed to sleep while somebody's being murdered in my ear. And I like freak out and like roll him over and say, oh God, sorry, yeah, you're gonna fall asleep first, yeah. And he does it again, and finally I think I basically rolled him around so many times that it was okay, because like I passed out. And a few hours later I get woken up by like, hey sweetie, I left a towel and a washcloth by the shower for you. Thanks. Yeah, just so you know, you can like totally hang out here if you want to. Like, you know, you want to watch the TV, hang out, have some snacks, it's all good. Yeah, I'm gonna really need to go. Oh, I wanted to tell you, my mom's actually having like an early Thanksgiving dinner next weekend, and it's in Fort Smith, so it's real close to you, and I wanted to invite you to come. Wait a second. Is your kid gonna be there? Yeah. And your mom? Yeah, and my grandma and stuff, but like, it's really weird. Jamel, we just met, okay? Like, I just met you, I mean, maybe 12 hours here, okay? Like, I ain't coming to family dinner, right? And he's like, yeah, but we're not like that. Like, it's not like that. It's like, you know, and I'm like, listen, it's not happening, okay? That was really sweet, but it's not happening. Oh, okay, well, I'll call you, I'll take you, we'll message you out later, it's okay. I'm gonna go to work now, you just have fun, I'll talk to you later. Okay, bye. Okay, as soon as I hear that door close, I get up, I cruise through that house like 17 times. I make sure I got all of my shit, like every bit of like I might even like, if is that a tissue, is my DNA on it? I get it, I'm taking it, I'm out of here, man, right? I get all my stuff, I'm on the road, I'm like, it's a clear day, I'm gonna live to see Arkansas, everything's gonna be just fine. He's messaging me, hey girl, you still at the house? No, sweetie, sorry, like an appointment, it was really great, thanks, you know. So I get home and like keeps on, I'm kind of cold, and he's like, hey, you're kind of cold, and I'm like, hey, guess what, I don't even really know what we're doing here, but you were really great, and like you live there and you got a thing, and I live here and I got a thing, and like this really isn't gonna go anywhere, but I really appreciate how sweet you are. And he's like, I was actually thinking the same thing. I was thinking, maybe if you're ever in Tulsa, we can hang out, or if I'm ever in Fayetteville, we'll kick it, it'll be great. I was like, that's awesome. Yes. And somewhere around 6 to 8 hours later, he messaged me, and he's like, God, you know what I was doing? I was just like thinking about planning a trip over there to Fayetteville. I'm like, Jamel, it's too soon. It is too soon, brother. You are not allowed to come over here and visit me yet. And I'll tell you that I still hear from him every once in a while. I'm throwing some good shit down over there in Oklahoma, you guys. And I haven't seen him again. He hasn't shown up, so maybe it wasn't that great. But, every once in a while, I guess he gets drunk or bored and messages me, and it's okay, because I still haven't seen him. And I'm going to tell you guys something. There's some common denominators in my story I'm sure you've picked up on, all right? Now, storms. I can't really do anything about storms, all right? I know I'm sunshine, I'm the center of the mandala and all that kind of stuff, but I can't prevent those, I can't stop them, I can just enjoy them or find shelter or whatever, all right? And the thing about pizza is you can't give that shit up, all right? Pizza is a real thing, and there's also a pizzeria right next door in the same building as my salon, so I can't give that up. But I took a long, hard look at Tinder, and I realized that I wasn't really getting anywhere with that. I gave it up. Woo!